Hello everyone, I'm Lazy Grouse, and today we're taking a look at all the units and mechanics of Kislev in SFO Grimhammer 3. But since they're a pretty new faction, they don't have as many big changes as many of the Warhammer 1 and 2 factions, but they still get some really fun stuff. And first, we got a new variant of Kossars. And these Kossars don't have a bow like their other variants, because they're focused on close combat, so they got much better combat stats than normal Kossars, and they got shields. But just because they don't have a bow anymore, doesn't mean they don't have a range attack, because they got molotov cocktails instead that deals big explosive damage that can just melt light infantry units. It also puts the enemy on fire, which debuffs their fire resistance, speed and damage. They don't do well against armor, however, because the molotovs do no AP damage, and they only have one volley, so they throw them and then they go into combat. But most of Kislev's early opponents don't have much armor, so they do great in the early campaign. They also got the Episcop Battalion, which is a hammer infantry unit exclusive to Kossar, and they got pretty good stats, with high attack and defense, good damage with magic attacks and AP, so they do well against both armor and physical resistance. They are a bit fragile though, with very low armor, but they're good support for your front line, because they got the red war chant, and as long as they're in battle, they buff allied damage and debuff enemy leadership, and the effect gets better the longer they stay in battle. So they work best fighting shoulder to shoulder with other units. They also got a new streltsi variant with bardishes, because they took the axe head off the rifle and figured they'd rather have a rifle and an axe instead of the two combined. And they use their bardiche to stabilize their rifle when they shoot, which looks pretty cool, and it gives them a little bit more range. They also get some anti-large but lower melee attack and AP, so they're more specialized against large units in close combat. And the last new unit is the acolytes of ursun, which is an anti-large berserker unit. And since they are berserkers, they got great attack and damage with frenzy and berserk, so they can cut most things to pieces. And they got 20 bonus versus large, so if you need something big dead, then these guys will do just that. But they are berserkers after all, so they got low armor, medium defense and a little bit of physical resistance. So while they dish out great damage, they also take a lot of damage. But they got a big health pool, so they can take it for a while. And that's all the units, so let's take a look at their campaign. And besides the new units, there aren't really any new big changes to Kislev as a whole. There's a lot of tweaked numbers, some buildings, some tech and some landmarks have had some new or tweaked effects. But they got a new stance, the Motherland stance, which costs a bit of movement for lower attrition, more line of sight and physical resistance if attacked. So it's kind of an encamp stance light, since you can move a bit more, but the other effects are lowered. But their legendary lords have all gotten some new things that are unique to them. So Tsarina Catherine is the Tsarina after all, so she gets some mechanics to emphasize that, because every 25 turns, starting at turn 3, she gets a dilemma where she gets to choose a buff that lasts 25 turns and a follower. And her options are Mystic Witches, which lowers cooldown and cost for spells and gives you more control, and a Ritual Enforcer, which lowers Seduce units budget and lowers corruption. Hearthfire Network, which gives you growth, and a Step Shepherd for more growth and lower recruitment cost. Intelligentsia for research and lower attrition, and an Ataman Administrator, which gives you replenishment and lower construction time. Righteous Apparatchiks for lower upkeep in friendly territory, and a Tax Collector for increased income. Boyar Meadhalls, which gives ward save when defending and lower miscast chance, and a Knight's Ward, which lowers enemy action success chance. And Sons of the Great Bear for replenishment in own territory, recovery for snow leopards and elemental bears, and a Priest of Ursun, which gives more devotion from hero actions and weapon strength. And she also gets an extra unit capacity for the Regiments of Renown. Kossar is a fanatic, and that's why we love him, but his faction is also fanatics, so his entire faction gets Fanatics of Orthodoxy, which buffs melee attack and leadership in friendly territory. He also gets unique missions in the Glory of the Great Orthodoxy, which is missions that you get from time to time that gives you unique buffs if you complete them. And Boris is a badass whose whole thing is running around in the Chaos Waste, so he got some things to make it a little bit easier to do just that. Because he gets some unique technologies that can really help him out in his campaign, and they're divided into 3 categories. Man is unlocked from town and lowers recruitment costs in some climates, increases control and protects you against enemy hero actions. Army is unlocked from underground ice den and gives you campaign movement range in enemy territory, lower attrition and more XP. And People is unlocked from Council City, which gives you damage and charge bonus when attacking, post-battle loot and remove charge defense against large from enemies. He also gets an army ability in enemy territory called Sons of Ursun, which buffs mass, melee defense and physical resistance. But that's all the units and mechanics of Kislev in SFO Grimhammer 3. And it's not a lot compared to the older factions, but I don't think they're done with Kislev. So this is what they got so far, and I think what they got so far is pretty fun, so they're definitely worth a go. But that's all for now, so thank you so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, leave a like, comment and subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!